I just don't think that that's really what Scripture is trying to tell us. It's not trying to tell us that God never made other human minds and other planets, other universes, other times even. I think what it's telling us is really that we're the descendants of Adam and Eve, and this is our story. And to really take a hard position against human minds outside the garden, as you've taken, Bill Craig, I think that to be coherent and consistent, it would also have to include a position against the possible discovery of intelligent minds on other planets, and a position against, the possibility of, all these other places where, you can see humanness arising, or possibly. And of course, we don't see intelligent aliens on other planets. So, I mean, it's fine. I mean, I just don't think that that's really what Scripture is trying to tell us. It's not trying to tell us that God never made other human minds and other planets, other universes, other times even. I think what's telling us is really that we're the descendants of Adam and Eve, and this is our story. And there's other stories to tell too. There's a story of the cosmic fall with the angels that fell and what's going on with them. There's this. I think there is also these hints that there's a story in the past of what God was doing with humanity as you understand it, which is a more scientific or modern understanding of humanity. I think that humanity is there and existing before Adam. But the story of Scripture is really focused on the garden. It's really focused on Adam and Eve's lineage. And I think when you move Adam and Eve too far back in the past, well, I'll always defend the scientific plausibility of your position, Bill, as you know. I think the question that really comes is, what it does is it does take it out of history in an important way. If Adam and Eve were recent in the last 10,000 years, when Genesis was written, they could be speaking out of an oral tradition with direct witness of Adam and Eve. They really could have been writing down history in a mythological way. I think if Adam and Eve were 500,000 years in the past, I think what you have to start proposing is that the historical components of all of it were essentially entirely prophetic in a backwards sort of way. And I think that's something that's been given up. It's no longer really in history in the traditional sense of historical. And I think the real strength of a recent Adam and Eve is that it really places Adam and Eve no longer in the realm of genetics, frankly, but solidly within history, in the same way we talk about ziggurats and the Tower of Babel, and the same way we talk about the conquest of Canaan and those sorts of things. I mean, Adam and Eve just starts to fall in archaeology and history in that way.
Bill, you want to try to respond? Yeah.
Yes. We know that there are persons who are not human persons. For example, angels. So if there were extraterrestrial rational life, these would be persons, but not human persons. They would be Klingon persons or something of that sort. But to say that Neanderthals and these archaic Homo sapiens, or even the painters of the beautiful cave art I showed, are not humans in the full sense of the word, it seems to me is just completely implausible.
But I haven't said that, Bill, right? So I haven't said that. So I agree with you. That would be crazy.
No, well, Andrew has said that, and you've been open to it.
No, I'm telling you. I think that they're
human. You say they're not
by the definition you're using.
Humans.
I think they're
okay.
Human by the definition.
Then they've got to be. I think we've got to say that Christ's blood atoned for them as well. Otherwise, you're either going to say there's some other method of atonement, which you kind of skirted almost on doing.
No.
Or we're going to have to say that you affirm some kind of radical doctrine of limited atonement, whereby Christ died only for the descendants of Adam, but he didn't die for all these other.
I'm not proposing any crazy
rational, morally sensitive, aesthetically sensitive persons, and I think that's theologically unacceptable. And Josh, I think that saying that these folks weren't human, as I indicated in my talk, leads to this terrifying conclusion that people like Jews are not human, as certain Muslims say. Even though they're just like us, they're not. somehow in the image of God, or they're not part of the covenant, or something of that sort. We can't adopt views of humanness that would exclude our contemporaries who are just like us from counting as human beings.
Well, so here's the thing. First of all, I have not adopted a definition of human that excludes any contemporaries. That should be obvious. So I don't have to deal with that critique. Secondly, I have not said that people outside the garden were not human by your definition. I'm saying by your definition of human, they are human. What I'm saying is, and I'm also holding multiple definitions. So I'm saying that your definition is a valid view, and by that definition, they are human. I'm also saying another valid definition is Adam and Eve and their descendants. And by that definition, that's not what they are. And so I think it's important you can disagree with that. I know you disagree with it too, Bill, but it's not saying that they're beasts. It's not saying that they don't have human qualities. It's saying that they're equally human as us. They're, and if you prefer, you could say that they're not human in the same way that Klingons are not human. Klingons have a human mind. They're not human in the same way that angels are not human. Angels have a rational mind, and they have free will and those sorts of things. They're not human in many of those ways that you're making those distinctions. Those things still apply there, and there's no clear reason about what is it that that rules out. I mean, so I can make space for your view of human, but I think that there's other definitions of human too that have legitimacy, and I still haven't yet seen how you've ruled out those other definitions as definitions we have to hold together.